Picture this. You're settled on the couch, your cat climbs into your lap, and starts dragging that rough little tongue across the back of your hand. It's slow, deliberate, and you completely melt. Then, right in the middle of all that tenderness, the jaws clamp down. Not hard, but enough to make you yank your hand back and wonder what you did wrong. Moments like this fuel the old stereotype that cats are unpredictable, aloof, and prone to random mood swings. But the lift and the bite aren't conflicting moods. They are two halves of the same ancient message. To understand what is actually happening, we have to look past our own human psychology. We need to look at these actions as part of a specific feline system of communication. Once we learn to interpret these signals, the physical bite starts to look less like an act of aggression and more like a sign of profound trust. We can see the roots of this behavior by observing how cats interact with each other. When one cat grooms another, a ritual known as allogrooming, it is engaging in a social behavior reserved strictly for their inner circle. The tool they use for this is remarkably specialized. A cat's tongue feels like sandpaper because it is covered in hundreds of tiny, backward-facing spines called papillae. This macro cross-section of a single papilla spine shows it isn't a solid cone. It's hollow, with a tiny U-shaped cavity at the tip. This acts like a wick, pulling saliva out of the mouth and delivering it deep into the fur. When your cat uses this tool on your skin or hair, it is spreading its scent on you. By mixing its smell with yours, it is labeling you as a recognized member of its communal family. This instinct goes back to the first days of a kitten's life. A mother cat licks her blind, helpless kittens constantly, teaching them that to be groomed is to be warm, safe, and protected. That rough sensation on your hand is a survival tool being used to mark you as essential kin. This bond is reinforced by a clear internal chemical response. We can track exactly what happens inside the bodies of both humans and cats during a quiet petting session. Take a look at this chart tracking the bonding hormone oxytocin. Researchers found that during a gentle interaction, oxytocin spikes in both the human and the cat simultaneously. The data shows a crucial caveat. This synchronized chemical reaction only occurs when the cat initiates the contact, rather than having it forced upon them. Other studies looked at the hormone responses of cats completely cut off from human social interaction. Shifting to the isolated cat data, a rising line for oxytocin is mirrored exactly by a rising line for cortisol, the primary stress hormone. A cat denied human contact experiences measurable chemical stress. They notice our absence and crave connection, which challenges the idea that they are indifferent to our presence. So, if a lick is built on affection and oxytocin, why does the cat suddenly bite you? Consider the quick nibble woven into a long grooming session. Among bonded cats, this is a standard social gesture. It's a rhythmic part of the interaction that signals continued closeness. Other times, the bite is a response to physical limits. Cats have a shorter threshold for touch than humans. When they hit that limit, the nervous system can tip from pleasure into sudden sensory overload. Before this overstimulation bite happens, the body provides clear signals. Watch for the ears flattening, the back skin rippling, or the tail rhythmically thumping. A third type of bite is rooted in social hierarchy. In 1998, a study by researcher Van den Bos observed the grooming habits of 25 cats living together. The study documented that dominant cats usually initiated the grooming of lower-ranking cats, and that roughly 35% of those sessions ended in a sudden swat or nip. In these cases, the grooming acts as a pressure valve to safely bleed off social tension. Occasionally, leftover tension leaks out as a bite. Whether it stems from affection, from sudden sensory overload, or complex social dynamics, the bite is a form of honest communication. It provides a definitive end to the interaction. When your cat settles onto your lap to lick and eventually bite you, they are running a complex behavioral program that predates the home and the living room entirely. Instead of taking the bite personally, we can focus on watching for those physical warning signs, the rippling skin and the thumping tail, and give them space the moment they ask for it. There is an immense vulnerability required for a small predator to drop its guard and clean you during a quiet moment. Learning these signals changes how you experience that bite. It stops being a shock and becomes a sign that you've been folded into the inner circle.